Okay, guys, welcome back to UTMB Live. It's Sunday morning here in Chamonix, Mont-Blanc. It kind of feels a little bit like it's the morning after a very long party that's been running on since Monday, but let's not forget that it's 11:30 here, and we've still got another 4.5 hours until we see the final runner come across the finish line of the UTMB. Plus, we also have the runners from the PTL that have been on the course since last Monday as well. So today is a big day in Chamonix. So that's what's going out. That's what's going on outside. And here in the studio, Randy and myself, we're kind of joined by one of the protagonists of the week. It was already Friday evening, so the winner of the CCC from the UK, Tom Evans. So Tom, good morning to the UTMB Live. So a real honor to have you in the studio, and we're going to pick your brains this morning. So I'm going to kind of start off with how's the body feeling today?
Firstly, thanks for having me. Yeah, the body actually feels okay. I had to work incredibly hard on the final downhill, so my quads are a little bit sore today. But I've got a big smile, and I think if you've got a smile on your face, and it just makes the body feel so much better.
Yeah, no, we've had the honour of watching you from the 9 o'clock start on Friday morning from Courmayeur, and watching you kind of complete the 101 kilometre course. So also now, if anybody didn't know who Tom Evans was before Friday morning, how's your social media feed going since Friday evening when you did that salute at the finish line?
It's been amazing. This community is just so special, and just to be able to read some of the messages, and haven't managed to get back to everyone quite yet, and I promise that I will over the next couple of days, but hundreds of messages in inboxes, and it's just incredible that people want to share my journey and share my experience. And if I can help to inspire and to get more people out onto the trails and running in the mountains to show that anything is possible if you put your mind to it, then that's just, for me, that's as important as being able to perform in races.
De messages, de félicitations, et comme quand il avait inspiré énormément de gens, et pour lui c'est vraiment la chose principale. Et donc s'il a pu inspirer des gens à aller courir dans les montagnes et pratiquer la course à pied, il dit c'est une vraie victoire pour lui.
How did that make a difference for you in terms of knowing your competitors or knowing what was out there? How did that affect you during the race?
For me, it's really important. Running is, I see, if you own a pair of trainers or you own some shoes and you go running, you are a runner. And I've been really.
Voilà, et donc il répond, à partir du moment où on a une paire de chaussures et qu'on met un pied devant l'autre, on est un coureur. Donc c'est difficile de faire une différence entre les coureurs et les athlètes. Et quand il a vu que le coureur chinois Chin était parti dès le début, il a préféré le laisser partir. Mais il ne le connaissait pas, donc c'était un peu l'inconnu. Et il y a certains coureurs avec qui il échange ou qu'il connaît via les réseaux sociaux. Et ce qui lui permet un petit peu d'anticiper contre qui il va courir, et en tout cas de savoir les coureurs avec qui il va affronter.
It was probably leaving Valacine with about 10 miles, 16 kilometers to go, and I was told that I was 7 minutes behind the leader, and I was in 3rd or 4th place at this point. And then when we got to Col de Monte, just before the final climb,
voilà, j'étais 6 ou 7 minutes derrière les coureurs de tête. Et arrivé à Col de Monte, j'ai couru beaucoup plus fort. Et voilà, je me suis projeté dans la course.
It was the moment where I saw Min through the trees with about a kilometer to go to the last checkpoint at Flagère, where I sort of thought, right, this is what dreams are made of. This is your opportunity to prove to yourself what you're capable of doing. And this is the real test. So.
Et voilà, et à partir du moment où il...
It was incredibly special, but yeah, leaving Valacine, ultra running it is an individual sport, but it's all about the team that's behind you.
Et voilà, et quand il a quitté Valorcine avec toute son équipe, il a vraiment poussé aussi fort qu'il pouvait, et il s'est dit bon voilà, maintenant c'est maintenant que je peux voir de quoi je suis fait, ce que je vais pouvoir en tout cas accomplir avec mon corps, avec mes capacités, et c'est là qu'il a vraiment poussé beaucoup plus pour arriver à cette victoire.
Because we've been fortunate in a lot of the races this week with the tremendous coverage. So we've had the electric bikes, we've had kind of runners, we've had Seb Shelby.
Donc voilà, cette semaine, nous avons eu beaucoup plus de moyens sur la télé UTMB.
Clearly remember, yeah, we saw some races where we had the pass, you know, where you pass, they kind of, is that a moment that you remember vividly, or just one of that whole blur of that last segment of the course?
Et voilà, là, il commentait les images où les athlètes se dépassaient grâce effectivement à ces nouveaux dispositifs avec des coureurs et des e-bikes. Et donc, du coup, est-ce que tu te souviens vraiment de ces moments qui étaient à l'image?
At the time I thought it was a good idea, but I was just so tired, and saw him and just was like, right, this is your opportunity, just compose yourself. And when I think there's a lot of, yes, ultra running and trail running, you've got to be physically fit, but you've also got to be incredibly mentally strong. And for me it was, when I went, I knew I was going to pass.
Et voilà, dans l'ultra running, il faut bien évidemment être costaud physiquement, mais l'aspect mental est vraiment déterminant, surtout pour moi. Il faut que... Je me suis dit, il faut absolument, quand je les ai vus partir, que je me focalise sur ma course, sur mes capacités, sur ma gestion. Et ça a finalement marché, et j'ai encore du mal à réaliser ce qui s'est produit.
I'm getting the sense that there's some additional training that's almost around the sports science and the psychology. So,
et voilà, et donc grâce à cette performance, est-ce que tu as forcément inspiré beaucoup de gens qui voudraient rentrer dans le top 10 de la CCC, et j'ai le sentiment que tu ne fais pas que courir. Est-ce que tu fais d'autres choses, que tu fais du cross-training, de l'entraînement croisé?
I want to be as good as I possibly can be, and have looked at other examples of athletes in other sports, a bit track and field.
Et voilà, moi je veux être le plus costaud possible en trail running et faire tout ce qui
the performance and actually just the running itself is only plays a very small part. And I'm incredibly fortunate that in the last 12 months I've been able to build up a superb support network around me. I'm still a serving officer in the Welsh Guards and the British Army, and they've been superb in the support and instrumental. But as well as that, I've got an amazing training group, the AB training group, based in the south of England, and sort of coach, and I can sort of use that as a springboard, sort of just to really help me plan my training. But then also going into a little bit of psychology, I then have a lot of work with.
Voilà, donc je fais la préparation bien évidemment avec la course à pied, j'en fais aussi à la gym avec des planches de stabilité, mais aussi un aspect psychologique, parce que je pense que c'est vraiment une approche globale qu'il faut avoir par rapport à la course à pied et au trail running.
But for me, I love running, and I just want to keep running as hard and as fast as I can, sensibly. But having that support network around me is so instrumental to this success in CCC.
Tom, I have one follow-up to that. You're at the top end of your game right now. What one or two bits of advice would you have for those that are trying to finish a race like the CCC in the middle of the pack or later in the pack, just to get it done?
I think there are a couple of things. For me, it's to plan your training really smartly. A lot of people will go on Strava or go on social media and see what some other athletes are doing and just try and copy them. And I couldn't to stay as far away from that as possible. It's an individual approach for every athlete. And if you need some help with training, there is so much advice out
Voilà, donc pour donner des conseils sur l'entraînement et sur la préparation pour une telle course, et à partir du moment où on s'inscrit et on décide de participer à une compétition, alors il faut absolument ensuite vraiment faire le job, vraiment s'entraîner et faire des concessions pour y arriver, quels que soient les objectifs, qu'on ce soit un athlète élite ou un athlète qui va finir en 45 heures. On court tous sur le même chemin, et pour ça, il faut véritablement se préparer, être prêt des fois à passer 2 nuits dehors. Le plus important, c'est de se souvenir que c'est notre décision, c'est nous qui avons vraiment souhaité participer à la course, et toujours garder une attitude positive et sourire pour réaliser les objectifs qu'on s'est fixés. Voilà, merci beaucoup Tom, on va te laisser partir maintenant. Merci beaucoup d'être venu, c'est encore un tout début de carrière que tu vis, ça fait à peine 18 mois que tu t'y es mis depuis le marathon des sables. En tout cas, bravo pour cette performance à la CCC et merci d'être venu.